Hey, Commonwealth Nation, welcome to the Inside Track. My name is Chase Chamberlain, CEO and founder of Commonwealth, and your host for today. I'm super excited to welcome you guys to this conversation. It's full of incredible full circle moments, and I really can't wait to talk to my friend and brother, Gustavo Delgado Jr., the trainer of the 2023 Kentucky Derby winner, Mage, of course, and the trainer and issuer behind the latest offering dropping this week, Shippy 24, a 2-year-old colt by top racehorse Life is Good, and the stakes winning midshipman mare, Shippy. Now, before we dive into the conversation with Gustavo, I wanted to tell a quick story that I don't think really any of you know. Commonwealth really began in 2019 when we started building in stealth. We weren't ready to, even talk about it. We were, of course, building behind the scenes and coming up with plans, and these things take a great deal of time. Then, of course, this thing called COVID hit, and that really slowed things down. And then in 2021, we were ready to negotiate and find our first proper racehorse for the platform. Now, we had partnered with WinStar strategically. I'd known the WinStar family for some time and just really believed that of all the breeding farms, they had the strongest race program in the industry, which really still remains true to this day. And after that, we started working on negotiating a deal on none other than Life is Good. Now, Life is Good had won handily out west with Baffert and was touted as the favorite in the future pools for the Kentucky Derby. Unfortunately, after a work, Life is Good popped a small bone chip, one of his hind legs, and he was officially off the Derby trail. And like that, our Derby dreams were dashed. Now, the silver lining in this story is number one, I argue we still know how to pick them. Number two, that is what ultimately led us to acquiring Country Grammar. The deal fell through. Country Grammar was available. They thought he'd be a good handicap horse and could be interesting for our customers. And of course, $14.5 million later, and a lifetime of memories and travel and just incredible moments. I think 12 graded stakes races, 9 of which he was, never worse than second. The horse of a lifetime. But those Derby dreams were kind of ripped from our fingers, and it was a bad feeling. But who knew? That was 2021. Who knew that in 2023 we would be standing in the winner's circle holding that Derby trophy with none other than the Delgados, both Gustavo Delgado Sr., also known as Puma, and Gustavo Delgado Jr., Puma's son and right-hand man. And so for that reason, I'm very excited for this full circle moment from Life is Good to Mage, and to welcome Gustavo Delgado to the program to chat about this colt, about their program, why they bought this colt, and the excitement that hopefully lies ahead. So, Gustavo, welcome. All right, Gustavo, man, welcome. Thanks for joining.
How's it going, brother? How's
It's
everything?
it's good. It's good. I was just telling everybody this is a cool full circle moment because when Commonwealth first started, we negotiated a deal on Life is Good, and he was the Derby favorite, and we'd only been in the business for like a year. And then he went and did a workout at Santa Anita, came up a little sore. They found a bone chip. He got pulled off the Derby trail, and so our Derby dreams were like put in our lap and ripped out in an instant. And that was 2021. And who knew that 2023, you and me would be standing together holding. We didn't know each other at that time.
Oh,
Who knew that 2 years later, not only would we be at the Derby with a long shot, but we would be standing in the winner's circle holding a trophy together.
unbelievable, huh?
It's
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 just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy when you look back. I mean, and then I will never forget. I think it was when when you guys came to the barn. Was it the training center? Was when you
yeah.
came, to see Mage for the first time? And. I think that was when he did that crazy breeze that the cloakers and all the agents called me right away. Like, and he hasn't even got back to the barn. Remember that? And
Yes.
we were like, "Oh my God!" Like this is like all the gossiping, all the the rumors. Like they run so fast when you have a nice horse. So, um, and you came with Julie. You guys were dating at the time. Remember that?
We weren't even dating yet.
Oh no!
I
It's like
gotta,
it sounded like it sounded like like getting there,
yeah.
something
I,
like.
I use the famous horseman cheat code. If you guys don't know this, if you want to find a beautiful girl if you want to outkick your punt
It
coverage,
always helps.
a much better horse, a beautiful horse, always will make a guy look that much better.
Look at us.
Look at us.
What a great feeling, brother.
I
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's been a
So
while. For some reason, whatever, like we always wanted to do something again together. I think this is the right horse. So and we were chatting at the sale. I mean, we were doing our scouting. I was with my dad at the sale, and I listen. This is if there is any life is good here that looks like him and walks like him. It's got like the frame. It's gonna be this horse. Well, then we ended up having. I remember you text me right away like, hey, was in like let's see, let's do something here, and then we keep chatting, and so far so good. I think we got a nice one here too.
yeah, it's interesting because for people listening, like I looked at every single life is good I could at Keeneland just because I know the horse well and love the horse and been really excited and a big believer in the horse before Shippy, before this colt. It was just a believer in life is good. Like when Todd Pletcher describes a horse as 1% of 1%,
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Like
it's like, you got to pay
he never
attention.
talks like that, by the way. He
Right,
like
exactly. He doesn't say things like that.
yeah,
You're lucky to get any words out of him. And so I looked at all the Life is Goods, and this one legitimately just stood out to me. And so one thing that I always like to see is, do things align? And what I mean to say is, it's funny, like you guys end up on the horse. So I always
yeah,
like, did I like the horse first or did the opportunity come to me? And I really liked the horse. And then I see you guys get it. And you said something great. I think you said he looked like $1 million. Thankfully, we only had to pay half.
yeah, correct, yeah, exactly, yeah, and
So he's by Life is Good, the fastest son of Into Mischief, who's 1% of 1%, winner of the Breeders' Cup, just crazy speed. He could stretch it out, and he's out of a super fast mare. What did you like about this colt? What stood out?
basically the frame that he's got, like he because when you go to the Fasig October sale, it's like you can get anything, It's like it's not like Keeneland, you know how it is. Keeneland the first books, it's like, they all have the same frame, they all have like, oh, okay. Like we shopping in the jewelry, everything expensive here. So it's basically one after another. But he stood out at the Fasig October sale because he was like, you can see him far, far, like, oh, who's that one? Like,
Yeah.
it was very clear. So we get him closer, and then they like we might want to see him again, tomorrow, and everything about the horse was telling us like, well, if we're gonna buy something here that is gonna be like in the range of 500, whatever, it's gonna be a horse like this because I mean the rest we're not doing anything. Like we're just gonna play here a little bit and see what we can get.
Mhm.
So that was basically it, and then honestly, I thought it was going to be a little bit more. So, but like anything,
So the colt major standout at the sale. Um, you got him. It's October. You sent him down to Jones Training Center, who
yeah,
breaks all your horses. What have
correct.
been the kind of initial thoughts on the colt?
Everything's straightforward. So far, so good. That's exactly what you want to hear. You want to hear anything. Like, you want to hear problems. You don't want to hear good things. Like he's on the
Yeah.
program, and of course he's a big guy, so you don't want to go too soon with him. Any rush. Um, there's a lot. in the same group, there's a lot of horses going to sales, but
Sure.
he's not in that program, so definitely he's gonna work more, slow, progressive kind of thing. Because we like to, in that sense, we like to do our own thing, like we decide when to breeze and that kind of thing. So of course, there will be more advanced at this point for him, but so far so good.
And realistically, it's like he has the frame of a horse that should be able to go the distance, but there
But
should
the
be no
family
shortage of
has
speed.
so much speed, yeah, and the family so it's a lot of speed there, so it's gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no doubt. So let's talk about that a little bit. You and your dad have a little bit of a different program. You've
yeah.
obviously learned from your dad. Can you just talk to me what kind of sets your program apart? How does it work? How would you describe
Well, we put our own money.
it? That's a big deal.
We have skin in the game, brother. Yeah, for some reason we like it. We like it. We like to get a piece of the horses in, and basically, kind of have that kind of authority to have the direction, and they work for. It's been working because we always, for some reason, call it luck or whatever. We have been, like. I look at everything like being grateful, for everything, but so it's hard. We will spoke about this many times, like how difficult it is to find a horse and actually, going into things like the Derby trial and and when we know how much money is spent, how many horses, when you go to the sales, how many horses you face. So it's something that I think we just, like we focus on training a certain amount of horses. We don't like that quantity, like kind of like I don't know. I like to say we kind of like fresh market kind of thing. Whole Foods, not Walmart. Kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys
So
kind of have like a boutique operation.
yeah, that's always been the case, and honestly, we it's a it's like anything. We sometimes depend basically on the horses that we we are involved. So it's not a big number, but we like to think that like we always are always on the loop of of the big races with a few horses, with a handful of horses. So I mean, it's more attention to detail kind of thing.
Yeah, and you guys tend to kind of focus on you guys want to get to the Saturday races. You and Puma both love the classics.
Yeah,
What do you think? What kind of is special about the training in your program that helps you get? Because you guys, your numbers are pretty crazy when you look at the small stable size and
yeah,
your
correct.
ability to get to the classics. What do you think it is about that? Like, how do you
Oh, my
guys?
dad has plenty experience. He's been training over I don't know more than 40 years now, 45 years now, and I think the foundation that he puts into them, it's a little bit different in the sense that he doesn't demand too much speed on the breezes kind of thing. So it's hard to see fast workouts and long, consistent, strong gallops, and that's basically what the foundation of it. And then I will say um, they don't necessarily have to breeze, every week kind of thing. So they will go. Since we are very hands-on, right? Uh, we sometimes just keep one breeze or two, just because they don't have to follow a program, because
Yeah,
the programs is when you have a lot of horses, so they have to follow the program, and nothing against it, but it's just not what we do, right?
yeah. It feels like what you guys do because what's funny is people didn't really think of Mage as a speed horse, but he ran one of the fastest Derby times in the last 20 years. And it feels like what you guys do is allow the horses natural speed to shine and make sure that they have so much foundation that they can just keep running.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what most impressive when we think about Mage was like how the like how quick was from him to go from maiden to winning the Kentucky Derby. I mean, there's not many horses that can do that. You need talent, but you also need a team that knows how to like keep pushing without you know going over. It's like it was that, and that was a bit like the perfect example because only 4 races we won the Derby, and I think it's only justified has done it. And
It's yeah. So
in the last 100 years,
you broke Apollo's curse. I think he's the third. I think he's the third horse to break Apollo's curse
which is not running as a 2-year-old, and yeah,
and winning the Derby.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and him and Justify something like that. So
Yeah,
so you needed, of course, the horse, which is the main ingredient. We all know that he's the real star, but you
yeah,
also need the direction. Because if you go back, remember those races, none of them were fast.
yeah.
We were used in the races.
Totally,
They
totally.
were they were those were the races. So, and my dad has plenty of experience doing that. So, and then we have done, and not well, Mage because he won, but he's done it like we have done it in other races too, and it's been paid out for us.
Yeah, big time. So, okay, we've got questions from people. This is ultimately they want to hear about. They don't want to hear me. They want to hear these some of these questions and answers. So, um, let's see. Given the emphasis on soundness and longevity in the Delgado's program, what early indicators give you confidence in Shippy's durability, especially as a young colt by a high-profile sire?
Well, those things you can really like. It's just like anything. You can really know how they will sustain, throughout their careers. It's hard. So you can only do a lot of prevention to do that in order to do that. So we are. Um, I would like to say that basically the main thing is that we, since we only have like a certain amount of horses in our
Yeah.
care, I will say like that, like that's always, um, like I just said, like we have a skin, in the game. It's just, like when
Well, I think to your point, like what you guys do a great job of helping with the durability. Like number one, I would say watch him gallop across the track. He reminds me of Life is Good. Life is Good had this very tut to tut to tut rhythm.
yeah, correct, yeah,
And this Colt Mage was a little bit like that too. And it was funny because some people were like, oh man, he doesn't have a big stride, but
yeah,
his frequency, you get in races like the Derby with full fields and the Tappet Trices that have a big V12 engine and that
yeah,
big thunk,
yeah,
thunk. That's great if you can run one race and nobody gets in your way. But
exactly.
when you've got to maneuver traffic, that rhythm of that tut to tut.
That's so important. That's so important in a race like that, especially because you always get traffic, right? And
Yep.
and for riders, they even like you have a very limited kind of riders that can ride those kind of horses.
Yeah.
So it's you need a very energetic guy that can bring those horses. Even if they stop, they have to bring them again, and it's like then you depend on only 2 guys that can do that. You know,
Yeah.
but these horses that seems to be just like push the button kind of thing. You can feel like what, like just give me the top three. Like it doesn't matter. Like they will ride themselves. So I think that's the kind of horse that we have right now. That for what we can tell right now.
I also think it's like you said, in terms of development. Well, number one, you guys have skin in the game, so you don't want to bend it until it breaks. You're like, I want to make sure that we develop this progressively and
Yeah. Uh,
carefully.
yeah. That's always yes. That's always like you know like what's on in the mindset.
When you guys have so much skin in the game, in fact, I think what's great about it is I was always confident. I remember asking you guys, because at one point I said, hey, I don't think we should go to Derby unless the horse is ready. And a
Yeah.
lot of voices were talking, Sam and Ramiro, all these people were talking. And I asked you and Puma, I said, is the horse ready? And you guys were like, yes, 100%. And so I was like, okay, great. Then let's go.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is special that you guys do is you're like, because you're so hands-on, you're like, no, no, we have high conviction. And by the way, we have skin in the game. If it doesn't go well, it hurts us too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 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 yeah. And
So I think that's great. So okay, couple other good ones here. Um, with so somebody wanted to know what do you specifically look for in youngsters that meshes with your training style? What types of horses do you guys like?
well, originally distance horses. That was like makes us, But when we see a horse that we think that the sire was a really nice horse that could be top three on his crop generation, like Life is Good.
Hmm.
I mean, uh, Life is Good was together with Flyline, right? In the same year.
In the yeah, and he went in they raced each other in the classic, and he
Yeah,
led. I mean, he led Flightline through
on the
insane fractions.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you will say, like, what happened? What will happen if five line, one single horse is not in the crop? So, who's the best horse? You take that one out. Then it's fly line, and then it's Life is Good. Sorry.
Yeah,
So So we kind of the same thing. The same thing with Good Magic with Mage. Like you take Justify out of the equation, then Good Magic will be a champion,
totally.
undeniable, right? So it would be like top two, top three in the crop, and then those are the sires that we want to follow. And then of course that they look like their daddies, and then with a good damn sire, which is I think we have with this call we have a good prospect on Shippy because she was a really nice filly, and she looks better when you look at her numbers. It's more impressive than you can actually see like in a like like in the result.
Totally.
Yeah, when you take a look on the her numbers, her breezes, how fast she was when she actually won the races, and like, well, she had the talent. Probably something happened along the way that she couldn't, but she really could run. Like when you talk about natural ability, she had that. So, and that's basically what we want.
I mean, 10 and three quarter lengths, she won her first time out.
Which is always what you want to see.
And you've got, Unbridled Song. Midshipman is the dam or is the sire of Shippy, for all of you that don't know. And Midshipman is by Unbridled Song, who himself was a very fast horse, but his broodmares actually contribute a good amount of speed and distance. Carrie Brogdon, a great issuer of ours and great breeder. She's obsessed with Midshipman for that exact reason. And or I'm sorry, I should say unbridled song mares. And I really think Midshipman's going to be a fantastic broodmare sire. You've got Golden Pal, New York Thunder. Um, the average, I don't know if you knew this, I just ran this data. The average broodmare sire doesn't join the top ranks until they're over 23 years old. That's how long it takes to find out
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
they're going to be good.
Yeah.
So Midshipman is only 20. So it's like you're going to start to see more and more come out because it just
It does.
takes
Yeah.
a long time. So it's kind of cool. Um, all right, we've got some other kind of interesting ones. Um, how do you and your dad kind of tag team in your training? Like, you guys were both obviously involved in Mage, and you're both in sometimes in the same place and other times.
Yeah.
And do your training styles differ at all? Is there anything that you guys, do
I,
a little differently?
no, I don't think so. I think it's the same thing. I like when we see a horse, we basically know exactly what he's thinking, what I'm thinking, and my dad is my best friend. I will never and then we get along so well, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not like oh well, uh, I don't know, like we have differences. So oh well, I want to do my own thing. Well, no, we good the way we get along well. So it's and we're partners, and with the training, I would say that um he's gonna get more involved when he's a good horse around. That will tell you. So then it will be like more like, what you doing there? Like, yeah, like okay, well, what's like when is it got to race again? Okay, yeah. Go. Well, who you gonna use? Are you gonna call like what rider are you gonna call? It doesn't. I don't think that's the rider for this horse. So let me handle this, and then I will be happy just to just take over like whatever. Like yeah. So it's no, we get along well, and it's I think the father son relationship that I have with my dad is the horses itself. It's the best. I wish anyone can have that because it's like when you connect, you're not competing, you're not like because you can have that with all the bodies and because we all like horses, but you're not competing. You basically working towards something that is like what you really both love,
Yeah,
So
you guys have a shared goal you get to run after together.
yeah, exactly. So it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. I mean, I wouldn't change that for anything.
Well, and I think the one thing that I think like Puma, obviously, his record speaks for itself, and you've obviously learned, so much from him. I think the thing that Junior, you,
Yeah.
adds so much to the barn. I'm a lifelong horseman, have been hands-on since I was little boy, all different breeds. Horses read our body language and our energy so much. And
100%.
you are an incredibly stable, calming presence in the barn, and that
Yeah,
that
I
makes a
I
big
like to think
difference.
that. Yeah. Well, because it's just like anything. You need to transmit that because they always are. I mean, you're a real horseman too. So it's like you need to like in your mindset. You have to be like, hey, I'm your buddy, so nothing's gonna happen here. You know, like
Yeah,
I'm here to protect you. So I'm your buddy. So it's like there's nothing to scare. Like if it's one that is like nervous, leave that one to me because he needs extra care, extra, like like maybe the person that is handling him at the right at that specific time, he's not in the right mindset to handle it. So no, 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 just let's take it easy with this one. And I like to think that yeah, we get well, just like anything, spending so much time around them, you get to see that there's no patience is it's no shortcuts here, like it will always be what pays off. Like patience is everything with horses, like
yeah.
and we all know that. And the moment that we think that well we can get away with something and then it's like right at your face like oh okay well you have like a reminder of the lesson so you go again, like again in front of you, yeah, you have to be patient.
I think our members get sick of me talking about it, but I believe it so seriously because when we've been patient, it has paid off so much. And it's hard to take it back when you rush something. Like you can really mess things up.
Yeah, and sometimes, most cases, that I mean, it's hard. It's hard, but sometimes you don't come back from that, because they're horses, they're athletes, and I think a lot of it, yeah, I owe to that experience that maybe I gained from my father because he gave it, more, the information was very, like synthesized. It's more small. So I don't have to spend for 40, 50 years with horses because, like you get a more condensed information. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to think that's one of the key things.
Well, okay, so speaking of that, let's talk. Somebody wants to know kind of we're getting out ahead of ourselves here, but let's dream a little bit. Let's talk about, if you when we look at Shippy, right? And if you had a crystal ball, what are some kind of like based on what we know right now, which of course is not a ton. We know he's a beautiful athlete, should have plenty of speed. He's handling training really well, but
Yeah.
what would your kind of early racing targets and long-term goals with a horse like this be? If you had to think.
Well, if, I mean, uh, if we follow the program, I mean, he's right now. We should have him in 5 weeks from now. We should have him at the Varno Golf Stream. and then we're gonna build his foundation between gallops, and then his, it's different when they gallop in at the training center. When you bring them down to the racetrack, they have to get used to, the environment of the horses, whatever. The barn, itself, it's more racing type, more racing environment. So that process always takes, it's different with any horse, but if it keeps following the program, that usually takes between 10 weeks, 12 weeks. And then we start racing. And then I would say, so if you do the math, that would be 4 months from now, 5 months from now. And then we start looking at, races that might fit. So whatever that is, it's August,
Yeah.
If it,
So
so my point will be maybe Saratoga, ideally. That's
yeah.
the thing. And we're always gonna be there. So we do the summers in Saratoga. So it feels like, like a horse that hopefully we can have him ready for that. But
Yeah.
you don't know how it is. Like, yeah, we just, shooting shots here.
Yeah, the answer, I always tease people. I always say I'm gonna ask you a question, and I know that the answer is it depends, but let's pretend that that's not an answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
no, that makes sense to me. I mean, he looks like the type that, again, it's so early, but we know he's got quality. He looks to have speed. We're gonna learn a lot, but look, with this pedigree, with this frame, with the trainers, the goal. I think with you guys too. I think what sometimes people can mistake with patience is you guys don't go any slower than necessary. You just also don't go any faster than necessary.
100%. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If we can push the bottom, like if we can move forward, we will move forward,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, well, we have all the time in the world. No. Like that again, it's a very fine line. It's a very fine line. But I think the key, like it's just like I said, like when you're hands on and you pay attention to your own horses, it's different. The angle is different. It's not
Yep.
like and for everything, for the waiting, for um for what kind of race is gonna help him the best.
Hmm.
Actually, maybe I will tell you, you know what, Sato is gonna be maybe two ahead for him. So maybe two on his head. So he's training a Gulfstream. Maybe first time out, it's better that he gets to the environment that he's at.
Yeah.
So we build that. So I mean, it's about that too. So like anything, we play by ear, but I think so far so good, and I like to think that we always go by feeling, and that's
Yeah,
what
that's right.
that's what we have. That's all we have. That's all we have. So
Yeah.
it feels good.
Well, and and I think what excites me about this colt is talking pedigree. The pedigree is this shouldn't be, we've bought into some horses that have been later developers, but I think it's important for people to remember, like, Life is Good was an early type, and he still waited to start until he broke his maiden first time out at the end of November. So it's you guys are similar to Bob in that you really like to put a foundation on, you like
You're
to
right.
put a strong
Yeah.
foundation. And
Yeah.
like you said, you sometimes just you can't tell exactly when will that will be, but you're incentivized to start, nobody is incentivized to start at 3. You always want to be able to, if you can, start at 2.
Yeah. Well, at least, some races on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, let's just see. I think there's just a few more questions and then I think we can wrap up. This is great. So somebody wanted to know, what was it like to become an overnight sensation through the Kentucky Derby victory?
You told me.
Yeah.
uh,
This is what I say to people. I'll be curious what you say. I always tell people that, I used to use the word surreal.
yeah.
I should have never used it before. Oh, this and that were surreal. No, no. The Derby win was surreal. That was the first thing that I've ever done that was truly surreal.
I mean, with all humility, because that's the way we have always taken it. you really have to live it in order to feel it, to really know what is it, and especially everyone that loves horses the way we both do, I think it would be fair to anyone that has spent some time with horses to experience something like that, I think,
Yeah.
because then they will only know how is it because they lived it, because they feel it. So um like what I want for me, I want for others. So I think that's the best message. And and it's just, but we always want more, we always want more. So
It,
we're gonna keep trying at it. We're gonna
it's
try.
funny you mentioned that because one of my most kind of memorable aspects of the Derby win, it was funny. We had guys on the team who are not horsemen on my team.
Yeah.
They were celebrating the Derby win for months, and which is great. That's awesome. I loved it, and I'm like you said, I was so grateful. And then it was like I was over, and I'm like, okay, well, we have to go do more.
Yeah, we have to buy
It's
more horses. Yeah.
it's over. We that's done. I mean, the trophy is
keep,
on the shelf. The
keep
roses are
keep
freeze
thinking.
dried.
Yeah. Start thinking about the next one. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the way we have built. Humans, we want to, like always keep growing. It's not a bad thing.
Well, we're really
We can
excited.
do
We're
it again.
grateful that you guys
We can do it
brought
again. We
us.
can do it again. We can do
Well,
it again.
yeah, no, let's do it again.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
That's a
I think we're really pumped. I told you guys this before, but I really believe in your program. Not that you need me to believe in your program, but I do. I think one of the things that I want people to understand about you and your dad is I've worked with a lot of trainers other than Baffert, and I would say you guys are equal in this way. There is nobody that we've worked with. We've got a few others that have been really cool, but like nobody has been more welcoming to Commonwealth members and newbies in the sport. You guys just always like, I'll never forget the first, Mage broke his maiden at Gulfstream,
that
and I
was
see Puma, he's like getting more bottles of champagne and sending them down to people that I don't even think they were part of the ownership group.
that was a really nice day. That was a really nice day, and we all had a blast. And we can just wait to, like do another version of it. You know,
Well,
that's what it's all about.
well, let's do it this week. I'm excited. So we'll start to wrap this up. I appreciate the time, man. We're gonna start selling shares in this Colt this week, and let's
Good.
get the journey going.
Yeah, let's get it done.
All right. Thanks, Gustavo. Appreciate you joining, man.
Thank you.
Well, team, thanks so much for joining today's conversation. We hope you found this exciting, insightful, and are looking forward to joining this offering that goes live, as we said, later this week. Super excited to be back in the barn with the Delgados and to watch this Colts journey unfold. If there's any questions that we didn't touch on that you'd like to hear about, don't hesitate to reach out. hello@joincommonwealth.com. Thanks for joining, and we hope to see you guys at the races in 2026. Have a great one. See ya.